really concerned, Frank. Avaz has gone missing.
Intel says there's a deal going down between the criminal gang leaders and the Separatists in some medieval ruins.
In the mountains?
Yeah.
That would probably be the ancient church of Saint Simon. Now mostly a collection of boulders and broken... But Avaz won't be a part of any deal or any meeting.
Because?
Too much integrity. He's a real patriot. He'd never worked for the Separatists. They're using his name.
Or using him. Someone in the meeting must know more.
I know those mountains from childhood. I'll stay in touch with John. If they have Avaz, it's against his will.
Be careful. Out.
They got away with it. And what happened, if you watched the election, I was told by...
Steep cliffs. Can't say I don't enjoy a challenge.
Congratulating me, people that you know very well, friends of your show. They said it's over. I said, well, I hear bad things about the machines. I hear bad things about corruption. One of your great pollsters who actually got it right, you know the gentleman I'm talking about, he said, well, Trump is going to win Pennsylvania, but you have to allow at least 5% for cheating, because they cheat. And that's in Philadelphia and various areas around Philadelphia. They cheat, and they cheat like crazy. So we have him winning Pennsylvania, but you have to allow 5 points for cheating. This is a terrible thing that's happened. The mail-in ballots are a disaster. They sent millions and millions and millions of mail-in ballots. I'm sure you know people that got 2, 3, or 4, because I do, where they said, you know, we got 4 ballots. They got one at a country home. Dead people were seeing ballots. But even worse, dead people were applying to get a ballot. They were making application to get ballots. Many. And, you know, we're not talking about 10 people. We're talking, there are a lot of dead people that so-called voted in this election. But dead people were, in some cases, in many, many cases, thousands of cases, voted. But also, dead people made application to vote. They were dead 10 years, 15 years, and they actually made applications. This is total fraud, and how the FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved, but how people are allowed to get away from this stuff, with this stuff is rigged. This election was a total fraud. And it continues to be as they hide. And the problem we have, we go to judges and people don't want to get involved. The media doesn't even want to cover it. I mean, you're doing something. You're actually very brave because you're doing something. The media doesn't want to talk about it. They know how fraudulent this is. It's no different than Hunter. It's no different than Hunter. They don't want to talk about Hunter. So they totally closed it off, big tech and the media, other than the New York Post, as you remember, which took a lot of heat. It was terminated. It was terminated from, I guess, Twitter, maybe Facebook. But it's a situation the likes of which we don't have freedom of the press in this country. We have suppression by the press. They suppress. You know, you can't have a scandal if nobody reports about it. This is the greatest fraud in the history of our country from an electoral standpoint. And I guess you could build it up bigger than an electoral standpoint. What's bigger from a electoral standpoint? What's bigger than this? This is the essence of our country. This is the whole ball game. And they cheated. Joe Biden did not get 80 million votes. Now, we were planning, I got 63 million votes 4 years ago and won quite handily in the Electoral College. Won quite handily. We did very well. I got 63. We were hoping to get 68 or so, and we felt that was a path to an easy victory. I got 74 million votes, the largest in the history of a sitting president. So much more, many millions more than anyone thought, that we were even trying to get. And everybody said, this is over. I'm telling you, at 10 o'clock, everybody thought it was over. And then the phony mail-ins started coming in. But just so you understand, I got 74 million votes. It was over. And then mail-ins started happening. Glitches started happening. This election was rigged. This election is a total fraud.
Mr. President, these are obviously very serious charges, and I want to walk through them and ask you how you will prove this in the courts, because as you know, what I've been saying on the air is that elections are the reason that our young men and women go on battlefields across the world and in some cases lose their lives because they believe that their vote, my vote, matters just as much as your vote. And if that is not true, this is a very serious turning point for America. So this is no longer about you, President Trump. This is about America. And many people agree with you. According to Reuters, 68% of Republicans and 28% of all Americans, that includes Democrats, believe there was fraud in this election. So let's go through some of the states, the 6 states that your team is challenging. What specific strategy does your legal team take going forward? Let's start with Pennsylvania. I know you said that you have a pile of affidavits. That's part of the evidence. What other evidence can you talk about that will enable you to prove this in court in the coming weeks, sir?
Well, we're trying to put the evidence in, and the judges won't allow us to do it. We are trying. We have so much evidence. You probably saw it Wednesday of last week. We had a hearing in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It was an incredible hearing, unbelievable witnesses, highly respected people that were truly aggrieved. A woman came in and she wanted to vote, and they said, no, I'm sorry, you can't vote. You've already voted. Your ballot's in. She said, no, I want to vote on November 3rd. I've been waiting for so long to vote. I'm so proud. I want to vote. They said, your ballot's in. I'm sorry. And that was the story, and she was aggrieved. And you have many people like that. Many, many people like that, at a level that nobody would even believe. And that's where it is, Maria. That's one story. By the way, that's one story out of so many different stories. The poll watchers, and this is true with all of the states, just about that you're talking about. I think all of them. They weren't allowed to have poll watchers. The Democrats and thugs. No, I'm not talking about saying, could you please move over? They threw them out of the counting rooms. They weren't allowed to be in. They threw them outside in many cases. You heard the story with the people, they went out and sent for binoculars because they wouldn't allow them to watch. And during that period of time, a lot of bad things happened. Then they closed, as you know, they closed up the voting. And then unexpectedly, they closed up all of the counting. Unexpectedly, this in history. And it all started with the mail-in, but it also goes to Dominion, it goes to a lot of things. But the mail-in, millions and millions of ballots being shipped all over. And ballots, as you know, there were a lot of ballots where it was just Biden on top. They didn't do anything else because they were in a rush. And from what everybody is saying, and from what, I don't think we even have to prove this, they say that I was doing so much better than they thought that they panicked and they started just doing ballot after ballot very quickly and just checking the Biden name on top. They didn't have to. They have all these ballots with just one name check. People don't vote that way. People don't vote that way. They want to vote against taxes, and they want to vote for judges, and they want to vote for a lot of other things that you have on a ballot, different races, including Congress, and they were just checked on top. Tremendous numbers of ballots like that, and that was done for the sake of speed. We have stories that are unbelievable, but we're not allowed to put in our proof. They say you don't have standing. I said I'd like to file to the lawyers. I would like to file one nice, big, beautiful lawsuit talking about this and many other things with tremendous proof. We have affidavits. We have hundreds and hundreds of affidavits, like the people that you saw the other day in Pennsylvania, willing to sign under penalty of perjury. You go to jail. Willing to sign, unlike Comey, who didn't go to jail for lying, by the way, and McCabe, who didn't go to jail for lying, which is an amazing thing to me. We might as well bring it up. But under perjury, you go to jail. We have hundreds, getting to be thousands. They're coming in all the time. And these are respected people. These are people that are putting their lives at risk. And they don't want to take the affidavit. Then they say we don't have proof. I wanted to file one suit, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, against, and put everything in a one simple suit. And they say, sir, you don't have standing. I say, I don't have standing. You mean as President of the United States, I don't have standing. What kind of a court system is this? And the judges stay away from it. There is out there, Maria, because everyone knows you gave numbers. I had a number, 79%, it just came out. 79% of the Republicans think that the election was a fraud. And I hear 35-40% of the Democrats, but they're not going to put it down anyway because they're not going to say we think it. But I think most of them think it was a fraud. I watched you with Kelly. Look at the election. Look at the election you have coming up right now. You're using the same garbage machinery, Dominion, and she's going around Abrams. She's going around screaming that she's got 800 or 850,000 ballots. What kind of an election is it? She's going around collecting votes. What kind of an election is this? What kind of a country are we living in now, where you can vote for months ahead of schedule? And then the other thing we have is Justice Alito, highly respected, a great man. Justice Alito seems to have big problems, but the election ended, and they gave people an extension to vote. That's never happened before. In other words, the election ended, but we'll give you more time if you want to vote. And what I understand is they didn't think it was good either. So they backdated all these ballots that came in. They had people, and we have affidavits on that too. They had people backdating ballots. So that if somebody came in the 4th or 5th or 6th, which was illegal because the legislature didn't approve it, which everything has to be approved by the legislature. And they had judges making deals, and they had electoral officials making deals, like this character in Georgia who's a disaster. And the governor's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. I'm ashamed that I endorsed him. But I look at what's going on. It's so terrible. But what happened in this election, Maria, I can't imagine has ever happened before. They stuffed the ballot boxes. I've been hearing that expression for many years. You have to stuff the ballot. They stuffed the ballot boxes. And they used COVID as a means to stuff the ballot boxes. Joe Biden did not get 16 million more votes than Barack Hussein Obama. He didn't get it. Joe Biden did not get 14 million more votes than Hillary Clinton. And by the way, he didn't beat Obama in the black communities. You go to some of these communities where Obama is very, very popular, and he beats him in some of these communities, but all throughout the rest of the United States, in a black community, he does actually poorly. He doesn't do very well. But he beats Obama in swing states. Now think of that. He beat Obama in swing states. You know that didn't happen. They stuffed the ballot box. Everybody knows that.
This is some of the impossible statistics that we have found, and this is from the Federalist article. They call it Biden magic, and they list a number of ways that Joe Biden magically outperformed election norms. They include 80 million votes, including a record Black and Hispanic turnout for you, President Trump. Winning despite losing most bellwether counties. Typically, when you win the bellwether counties like you did, the president wins. Biden trailed Clinton except in a select few cities. Biden won despite Democrat losses everywhere else. In the House, Kevin McCarthy is still celebrating wins in the House of Representatives. Biden also overcame your commanding primary vote. So there are certainly statistical impossibilities, and the Federalist calls it magic, as you referred to. Mr. President, will you be able to prove that the computers can circumvent the controls that are in place? A lot of people say, oh, no, we have controls in place. There are paper ballots. The computers cannot get through the controls that are in place. Can you do that? Yeah. And secondly, in terms of Pennsylvania, your team got a blow on Friday, an appeals court rejecting the request to block the certification of Pennsylvania's election results. Your attorneys have said they will appeal to the Supreme Court. Give us your timing on that. Will you get a different outcome in the next couple of days? Will we be hearing a victory in Pennsylvania in the next couple of days?
Okay, well, let me just talk about the Federalist Papers just for a second, because you mentioned it. There are 5 points, and it was written brilliantly but sarcastically, because they were saying he must be a great campaigner because he lost here, he lost here, he lost here, and he won the election. If a president, that this is over a long, many periods of hundreds of years, 100 years or something, they went into all of the elections. If you win one of the 5 points, I won all 5. If you win one of the 5 points, you become president. You automatically, sitting president, gets reelected. I won all 5 and I still lost. There was only one reason for that. Fraud. Stuffing the ballot boxes. All of the things that they did. There's only one reason, and everybody knows it. And your numbers are much different. This country, I cannot believe it. There's more spirit. I see more spirit right now. This country cannot have fake elections like we have fake news, like we have all of the things happening with big tech. There's a tremendous move on to repeal Section 230. Big tech has no liability. They can do whatever they want. It's ridiculous. But there's a big move to do that. I don't know if the politicians have the guts to do it, but they're hurting themselves very badly. There are so many different things. We'll be appealing different cases. It's not only our case. Mike Kelly, great congressman, as you know, from Pennsylvania, has a great case. He won. Well, he had a good decision. Then he went a step above, and they turned him down. I think that was in Pennsylvania. I think he's got a great appeal to the United States Supreme Court. Act 77, where the legislature is supposed to approve all this stuff, and they had it approved by local officials or a judge. I think it's a great case, but I'm sure they'll be appealing too. They have a fantastic case. A lot of the cases that have been lost haven't been our cases. They're people that are aggrieved that went out and filed lawsuits because they saw things happening that they've never seen before. A poll watcher, I have a lot of respect for Ken Starr, and I watched him on your show, actually. And a poll watcher is like a sacred person in the world of politics. They call them partisan poll because they're like a Republican poll watcher, a Democrat poll watcher. They watch the votes being counted. It's so important. It is like the most important. Otherwise, people will cheat, unfortunately. So poll watchers are very important. Our poll watchers didn't just get set back, which they did. They got thrown out of buildings in different states. They were thrown out, and this is a well-coordinated attack, because you don't do it with everybody. Maybe it would happen in Philadelphia, but it wouldn't happen in Detroit. Now, Detroit and Philadelphia.
Knife, beer, length of chain, blanket, uncanny, kind of creepy, actually.
So Abbas trusts this guy?
Abbas is no fool. He knows how dangerous Vasilisk is, but he is very useful. Became Abbas's right-hand man, despite Vasilisk's little hobby.
This just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, he'd throw his enemies in a pit and then cover them in cement.
Oh, thanks. I'm so looking forward to meeting this maniac.
The bookie can tell you where to find Vasilisk. He's got a lowdown on everything going on at the quarry, but the bookie would sell out his grandmother if the price was right. Don't trust him. Don't trust anyone in that god-forsaken sinkhole.
Hope at least the booze is good. Out.
Avas's life is on the line. If you raise an alarm, Basilisk may panic and kill him.
You're a lucky day.
I'm looking for the man at the top. The very top.
I'm running a business here. You want my time? You got a bet just like everyone else.
Fine. You're lucky I'm not in the mood to make a scene. Yet.
Pick your fighter, place your bet, enjoy your winnings. What? You won.
I've played your little game. Now talk. Where can I find Avas?
He likes to keep a close eye on the business, you know?
Where is Avas?
Well, I honestly have no idea.
You like betting, huh? Let's bet on how many punches I give you before you have permanent brain damage.
Wait, what?
Hey, you're a big guy. I'm thinking between 30 and 40.
Okay, talk with Madame Wu. She runs the brothel and she knows everything about everyone. Tell her I sent you and she won't be afraid to talk.
Good.
More drinks over here.
So, how about we go somewhere more private?
You feel a bit lonely, monsieur? I know what ails you, and I have the perfect remedy. You'll need a woman. Or two. Take your pick.
I'm not interested in that. Bookie told me that you can help me. I'm looking for Avas.
Honey, I'll tell you what. I'll set up a meeting with a friend who might know something. In the meantime, why don't you take a break? Relax.
Thank you, ma'am, but...
You know you want it. There's a bed upstairs. Very, very comfy. Find some company and enjoy yourself for a few hours.
Where is Avas?
There's someone who will know where Avas is. His right hand in business.
I'm listening.
My girls had a man, known as Vasilisk. He has been talking with some of the boys at the barracks about how old Avas is and ill-suited to lead the business right now.
It's not enough.
Maybe he knows something about Avas.
See this one? Keep away from her. Punches, fucking hit him!
It's over, Vasilisk. Let the old man go.
I agree with the American. I really think you should listen to...
Shut up.
Okay.
Mr. North, how lucky for us to meet again. Drop the weapon.
You must be fucking kidding.
It was worth a try. It seems you have me in a bit of a spot. So, how about we play a little game?
Fuck your games.
Jonathan, you don't get it. I'm in control. Now, there are 3 of us, and 3 rounds in this pistol. If the old man dies, you get to ask me all about Robert North. If you die, the old man walks.
And you?
I'll be dead. Of course, you could shoot me now and save the old man. But deep down you want to know about your brother. Don't you? Exactly. Shall we begin? 1. Congratulations, old man. You live to annoy another day. 2. That's twice now, Mr. North. Don't you think your luck has to run out sometime? I'm sorry, but you don't get to play. 3.
Grandfather, are you all right?
Grandfather?
Yes, my dear, yes. I'm well.
This is your grandfather?
Yes. This old bastard is all I have.
I'm in your debt, friend. Anything I can do? Name your price.
I need to know everything about Vasilisk and the people he's working with.
Well, seeing as I am no longer in immediate danger, I'll be only too happy to help. But Let's get out of here first. I haven't been outside for days. Come down, everyone. Come down. This man saved my life.
Avas has plenty of questions for Vasilisk supporters, and intel that will be very useful to us about the coup.
But his agenda isn't our agenda.
Yeah? Well, we're not working for fucking Mossad.
Even though our interrogation methods are far superior to yours?
Even though you weren't fucking born in this region, don't know all the players or the personal history here, save your goddamn superiority for...
Easy now. Lydia, you lead, but let Raquel jump in with an assist from time to time.
Thanks, John. But let's please keep the assistance to a minimum.
For what? You'll break my spine like you did your commanding officer?
Accidents happen. Don't fuck up my chance to dig up the intel on Robert. Got it?
She's got it. Right, Raquel?
Anything you say, John. Out.